Welcome to Ready for What's Next, Navigating the Shift from Work to Retirement. I'm Leslie Spees with Influence HR Consulting, a local consulting firm. So some of these things we cannot do because I'm recording it and it was more interactive, but this is our welcome and icebreaker. Also, as we go, we're going to do a few things where you're going to use a worksheet that was provided. So I would suggest having that in front of you. Reframing retirement emotions and challenges. As we transition to retirement, it's crucial to acknowledge the mix of excitement and anxiety that often accompanies this change. Embracing these emotions is going to enable you to have a more fulfilling experience. And try to shift from I'm ending a chapter to I'm starting a new chapter, and it's going to be exciting in my life. Some of the common emotions that people experience as they move into retirement: looking forward to freedom, travel, hobbies, and family time; relief to be done with the work stress; anxiety, it does make you a little anxious; loss of identity. Many of us have a lot of our identity kind of wrapped up in what we do for work. And that's a challenge when we move into retirement. Loneliness at times, guilt, and feelings of uncertainty. Some of the common challenges that people experience are having a new routine and schedule, maintaining social connections, because many of our connections are associated with work and our colleagues. So trying to maintain those connections if you'd like to and enhance and develop new ones. Purpose and meaning, physical and mental health, financial readiness to retire is a biggie, relationship dynamics. So things might shift with some of your relationships as you move into the next stage, and letting go of the work role and understanding that the company can move on without you, and you can also move on without having your work role. And then sometimes boredom. So we're going to go through three key areas for a fulfilling retirement: post-retirement identity, health and well-being, and community engagement. Number one is your new identity. So I'd like for you to think about how much of your identity has been wrapped up in what you do for work. For some, it's a lot. For others, it's less. But I think we all need to understand that we are so much more than that. And you can create a fulfilling, meaningful life in retirement by really exploring where you want to focus your time, energy, and talents. You have more of a choice in retirement than you did in your work life. So, on your worksheet, I'd like for you to take a few minutes to answer the questions, and pick one idea that excites you the most and write down a small, doable action you can take in the next month to explore it. So again, it says 5 minutes here. That was in the class, but take as much time as you need to kind of go through those questions and what really energizes you. What are your strengths? What would you do if time and money and physical health were not issues? I think all of those things are important to explore. The second category is health and well-being. Physical, mental, and emotional well-being are going to be foundational now and for enjoying the next stage. Let's go through each of those. Physical health. You want to make sure you're moving your body daily, doing something you enjoy. So it's important to exercise most days of the week. CDC says about 30 minutes. But doing something you enjoy is going to make you much more likely to stick with it. So if you say, I'm going to run, um, most days and you hate to run, you're probably not going to stick with that, right? But if you like to dance, maybe doing a Zumba class would be something good to incorporate. The other thing is that we're often sedentary in our jobs, and retirement is going to give you more of an opportunity to be out and about and moving around. Build strength and balance. As we get older, those things decline. So, making sure that we are making a concerted effort to build our strength and balance is important. Fueling your body. So, I don't necessarily think you should go on a diet at all. Most of those don't work, but fueling your body with things that are good for you. So we all know what they are: fruits, vegetables, protein, making sure that you're not eating food that is overly processed. I like to use more than 5 ingredients as a guideline, unless all those ingredients are fruits and vegetables, like you're making a big salad or something. Prioritizing preventative care, so making sure that you're getting all of the appropriate age screenings. And I don't have it on the slide, but sleep is really important. So adults require 7 to 8 hours of sleep. In retirement, it will provide you with an opportunity to really focus on that and do a better job, because most of us don't get those 7 to 8 hours. Mental and emotional health. It's important to stay curious and keep learning. Just because you're retired doesn't mean you should stop learning. Stay socially connected. So you may be losing contact with some of those work colleagues, but there's many other ways that you can stay socially connected, enhance current relationships, and build some new relationships. Manage your stress. So you'll have less job stress when you're retired, but we're all still going to have plenty of stress. Find the joy in little things. And then purpose and emotional resilience. So you want to make sure that you feel like you have a purpose and a reason to get up in the morning. That's going to be really important. And the section on the worksheet where we delved into that a little bit, hopefully will help you to identify kind of what the things are that you'd like to focus on in this next stage. Practicing gratitude is so important. It's important now and in the future. So we tend to be negative and focus a lot on those things that we don't have, but it's really important to practice gratitude. And the easiest way to do that is to, um, jot down 3 things every day that you're grateful for in a little gratitude journal. Actually, practicing gratitude can help rewire our brains to be more positive. Give yourself some grace. So, you're going to go through some emotions with this transition, but understand that that is totally normal, and give yourself some grace in doing that. On your worksheet, there is a well-being check. So I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 5 in each area below. So 1 is needs attention, to 5 is thriving. And you can see the categories there that are on your sheet. And then after you do that, I'd like for you to choose one area where you'd like to improve your score. Number 3 is community engagement. Finding meaningful ways to connect, contribute, and feel part of something bigger than yourself is going to be really important in this next stage. Ways to get involved: volunteer for a cause that you care about. I think we all have those things that we're passionate about, and oftentimes it's based on things that we've been through or that our loved ones have been through. So identifying those things that you're passionate about, and maybe you can join a board, maybe you can volunteer for a nonprofit or at your church. Maybe be a mentor. You have a wealth of experience that could help others. Join a club or group of interest to you. Take classes. So there's lots of classes available. I know that the community colleges offer some classes on things like art, basket weaving, whatever you might be interested in. And, maybe there's something that you want to learn more about. When I did the class, somebody mentioned Excel. Maybe you'd like to take a history class, whatever that is for you. Attend local events. Get involved in faith and service organizations. And if you don't find something that meets your need, maybe you can start your own group. Maybe you start a book club or something else in your community. On your worksheet, I would like for you in this section to draw a diagram with you in the center. So you can see an example here and add circles for your current community. So that could be work, church, family, friends. Identify those circles that will remain strong after retirement, and then add circles that you'd like to include after you retire. So some examples might be a travel group, or maybe you get involved with a fitness group, walking or hiking or something like that when you retire. So add anything that you'd like to include as you move into the next stage. In your handout, there is a resource list provided, and it's really some great information and resources that you can tap into for retirement. And I'd like for you to come up with a 30-day action plan. So it may be that you're a ways off from retirement and you're just being proactive, participating in this. But coming up with a 30-day action plan, you can start now to kind of get ready. So picking a focus area. So maybe it's physical activity. Coming up with a 30-day goal. So I'm sure that you know that when we create small goals and work towards those, we are much more likely to be successful than if we have a huge goal. So taking little chunks. So maybe your goal is to be more physically active, and your 30-day goal is to walk 3 times a week. So maybe you start with 10 minutes a day and kind of build up each week. First step you'll take 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Resources you'll use. Maybe there is a walking group or a walking trail. Who I will share this with for accountability. Best thing you could do is find somebody to actually walk with you, and that helps with accountability for sure. But when we share our goals with others, it makes us more likely to be accountable. And the other thing is, we're much more likely to be successful when we write down our goals. And when we post those, maybe somewhere where you will see it regularly. So I would encourage you to do this for the next 30 days and then continue beyond that. So look at all the things that were covered in the presentation and pick one every 30 days and just kind of habit stack on top of each other so that you are ready when you are moving into retirement. So I hope this has been helpful. If I can help you in any way, here is my contact information. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.